お兄ちゃん。
Hello, hello. Hola, hola. Bienvenidos. Welcome. Yokoso. Bienvenuti. Welcome. Son todos los que ves. That's all I know. How are you guys doing today? ¿Cómo les va el día de hoy? No sé quién nos está viendo. I don't know who's watching. But someone is watching. Someone is always watching. Mr. Sid, how are you today, my good sir? Like the way they say in Texas, sir. How are you today, sir? I hope you are doing fine today. Hola, God, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Tú farmea tus puntos. Good to know that you're good, see? Good to know. Doing fine myself. My back is less hurt today. I think I figured out it's some sort of compression. Mi espalda no me duele tanto hoy. Creo que descubrí que es algún tipo de compresión. Así es que medio me acuesto en el piso. I lay down flat on the floor, and that helps for a couple of hours. And then as the day goes by and more weight gets into my lower back, starts hurting again. I just hope it's not like a... Sorry, my cat is trying to jump on top of the camera. No, don't do it. No, thank you. ¿Qué onda, God? Sí. Mostrar foto de Baby Lara. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to start wearing like a medical corset, and I'm gonna have such a nice waist. Yeah, but kidding aside, it happens often. Sometimes out of the blue, I get injuries, so I have learned to live with them. They're just very annoying, very very annoying. We're gonna call this flask, even if I know it's not a flask. But not what I wanted to write. Natsicles, hello, how are you, Primasa? ¿Cómo estás? Pero no puedo enseñar fotos de Baby Lara porque yo no tengo fotos de Baby Lara. Todas las tiene mi mamá. I cannot show you pictures of my baby brother or my brother when he was a baby because I don't have any. All of them are in my mom's house. ¿A qué temperatura estar en Veracruz? What's the weather in Veracruz? Yeah, no, I was telling my wife that the first time that I remember. Lo siento, Godo. The first time I remember hurting my back, it was way back in shush. I don't know, 99, 98, something like that. I used to wake up really early to go to school every morning, way before my alarm would sound. And that day, I didn't oversleep, right? Because I was still on time. But it happened that sorry, I just thought that I'm gonna get my life more complicated if I do this. So what I'm gonna do to draw this flask is that I'm gonna draw just half and then I'm gonna duplicate it so it's symmetrical. Hello, Nicole. How are you today? So that morning, I heard the alarm. I woke up after the alarm sounded, and I raised up like Count Dracula from his chest, his coughing. 31 sensación de 34, pero la unidad de, no sé, ahorita que creo que Bakusan nos hizo un little thingy. Weather Austin, let me see if it works. That's the way we are right now. So we are 34 Celsius, 93 Fahrenheit, and the humidity is also 47%. So we're similar. So, yeah. So I raised up from my coughing like really quick, and then I just heard my back like crack, and that was it. I could not move for a couple of days. I was crying in pain, and I was 14, 13 years old, something like that. I was really messed up. I was in a lot of pain. Geesh. I don't know. I'm still deciding how we're gonna do the VIP thingy. Sorry about that. Look, I also, Bakutan also put this one. As the weather in Liverpool. Bad. With temperatures of 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. Oh, so you guys are getting cooler now. Is the heat wave going away? Se les contaba rapidito que es la primera vez que me lastimé la espalda fue cuando estaba en la secundaria. Me levanté antes que mi alarma, lo cual era... Perdón, después que mi alarma, lo cual era extraño. Y nada más sentí donde mi espalda tronó. Ya de ahí, de cuando en cuando me dan lesiones. From time to time I get those injuries. That's good to know. How's the weather in the Rust Belt, Nicole? Look at us talking about the weather. God, ¿cómo está el clima en tu ciudad? It's kind of weird, but I don't mind. Yesterday I was watching Nicole while I was at work, and after a while I went AFK, and I will turn around and they will be like, Barbarella it's called? Or like, I can't know. There's no Barbarella. Ah, damn. I forgot the name of this lady that she used to come out on TV with this big hype, and she will be very gothic. Man, how I could forget the name of... I also can't remember what's the name of the game she was playing. Can't remember. I have had several, well, yeah, I have. I'm gonna show you guys if you see it are still there. This is my ring finger or annular finger, however you want to call it, on my left hand. And I got an injury in my previous job. I started in September and I got an injury in December. And I thought I was gonna lose the finger. It was pretty bad. Um, oh, I used to work in a warehouse, well, at CrossDock. And for those who don't know what a CrossDock is, es el dedo anular o el anillo. Me lo lastimé en mi trabajo anterior. Trabajaba en un CrossDock o en un dock. Para los que no sepan, CrossDock is a place where trailers come in, freight it's offloaded, and then it's distributed into other trailers, right? So it's not a storage facility. And there's these metal plates that sit in between the floor of the dock and the floor of the trailer. Hay unas placas que se asientan entre el piso del dock y el piso de la caja del trailer. Y for some reason or another, one of them pressed my finger, like the hinge cut my finger, and I just pulled it out. And trigger warning for those who don't like blood or gruesome things. I broke my finger, pulled out my nail, and it was bad. I had months and months of recovery. Y para los que no les guste la sangre y se sienten un poco squeamish about it acerca de ese tipo de cosas, me arrancó la uña, me rompió el dedo y tuve muchos meses de recuperación. So, I mean, it works, funciona todavía. I just noticed this. I just noticed that it's not showing completely. Sorry about that. There you go. Yeah, well, I was on the ER. The first person that saw me was a nurse, and I told her like, "Oh my, I honestly thought I lost my finger when I put it out. I just pressed it instantly, press it, and I ran to the kitchen, and then when I opened, I could see all the fat and part of my bone, and I was like, I lost my finger, I lost the last phalanx of my finger. So I just told the guys like, hey, I told the guy, hey, you know what, bring me some bandages and dressings and stuff like that. I'm just gonna dress this wound while I'll drive myself to the ER. I called my wife like, hey, you know what, I had an accident. Are you okay? I don't know, but I'm driving to the ER. So I drove myself to the ER, and the nurse told me, like, you are lucky. Like, just a couple of days back, we got this guy, same sort of accident, but he lost 3 fingers almost entirely, and the half or the last one of the index. You were lucky, like very, very lucky. And it was a case of the doctor being dismissive about my injury, because the ER doctor that saw me said something of in the realm of like, yeah, boy, yeah. Boy, go to the ER. Oh yes. He said something like, "Oh, you're fine. It's just a fracture. Just stabilize it, and yeah, that's all you have to do." And I was like, "Okay." So he put an immobilizer kind of stuff, and I was like that. And then I was supposed to be referred to a hand specialist, but in the city that I was living, Laredo, there was none. So after a while, they sent me to another doctor. The doctor saw me, took more X-rays, and he said, like, nope, this is going wrong. This is not setting properly. This is not setting at all. And then he showed me the X-ray, and there was a gap like this big in between one part of the broken finger and the other. He was like, that's not gonna heal on itself. This is a problem. Have you seen my specialist? And I was like, nope, there's none available in Laredo. So he was like, have you gone to physical therapy? I was like, nope, there's none available in Laredo. So he told me, like, you know what? Yeah, I'm just keep it like this. Just keep it immobilized. Thank you. Just keep it immobilized and uh, wait until we can refer you. And that referral took a couple of months. By the time my finger was still immobilized, I was having terrible pain in my arm. I could barely sleep because I have to sleep upright or face up, or whatever you want to call it. And when the specialist, they had to send me to another city, San Antonio, 200 or 100 and some miles north of the city I was. I have to ask for days off and all that beautiful stuff. Oh, this is not the correct line. And when they finally saw me, they were like, yep, this didn't sit right. There's nothing we can do. You're gonna have a problem, a permanent problem. And whoever told you to keep it immobilized, they just did you a disservice, because now you have atrophy in all the muscles all the way to your shoulder. You haven't been moving. The finger doesn't have muscles, but everything that moves the finger goes to your arm. So he sent me home with some pills and excuse and stuff like that, and do it yourself at home sort of physical therapy exercises. Told me to keep it uncovered, told me to keep it unrestrained, and to try to move it as much as possible. Fast forward a few months later, since this was a work related injury, I got seen by doctor hired by the state that I was gonna assess the level of recovery. And he said that I was 99% recovered, and that was the maximum I was gonna get, and was it that I had 1% disability, my friend. So yeah, that was my work-related injury. I'm fortunate enough that my finger still works. Sometimes I feel pain, and the nail never grew back properly, and from time to time I feel kinds of pain. Cold water or hot water makes it feel like I have raw skin, like there's nothing in between protecting anything. So yeah, yeah. Although my days as a hand model are over, sadly, but at least I have a finger, or most of it. I just lost the tip, the top part and some of the bed nail, and that's why. And yeah, I mean, it looks a little bit chubbier than the rest of my fingers because the tissue, the part of the finger got um, reattached by itself after months, but a little bit on a lower position because it was never set properly. And according to the doctor, moving it will cause more damage. So they just leave it like that. Today I chose some music that is very, very chill. I hope you like it, guys. It is some sort of chill day. Thank you, thank you. The other day, I usually have my nails long, and it's something that I used to do because two reasons. I used to play the guitar or the bass, and I like them, right? And also my nails are big by itself, so if I cut them too much, they start bleeding. Um, but from time to time, people notice them and they were like, "Oh, your nails are long," and I always say like, "Yeah, I haven't gone to have a manicure recently, the pandemic." But my hand modeling days are over. Do you care to share what was your injuries? All if you want to share. If not, it's totally fine. Oop, that was looks weird. Mm, 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 mm. Hello, bienvenidos. ¿Quién anda por ahí? Who's there? Thanks for watching. Mhm.
NANI?!
Yeah, this is pretty cool. in a tire warehouse or tire. Yeah. I was on top of a stack of tires. We were unloading when it collapsed. My dear brother, mi querido hermano, muchas gracias por esa suscripción. Muchas gracias. Hola, hola. And we're loading when it collapsed. I fell headfirst. Damn. 30 feet up. But one of my feet got caught in the roof girder, so I ended up hanging upside down. No, no te pones ok. Dice Sid que estaba trabajando en una bodega donde había llantas y estaba arriba de una pila de esas de llantas. Cuando colapsó, cayó cabeza de frente, algo así como casi 10 metros de alto, pero uno de sus pies quedó atrapado en la orilla del techo, o quedó colgado de cabeza. Estuvo en muletas y luego bastones, algo así como casi 12 meses después. 12 months. Damn. That's harsh. I also saved myself from one of them. I used to work at a movie theater, and we used to do a lot of things at high places. And one time the ladder got unhinged on the middle, and it fell, and I just was left hanging on a ledge. And I told the guy, I'm never gonna do this until you got a proper and safe equipment. If you want to fire me, fire me. I'm not going up there again. I'm not gonna injure myself. Because things like that happen. Things like that happen. But good to see that you're getting when I was a younger person, I said that I wanted to work in a few places. I wanted to work at a library. I wanted to work at a movie theater. I wanted to work at an internet cafe. Before finding like the job that I was gonna keep for years and years, right? And I did manage to do at least the internet cafe and the movie theater. Y para los que sean jóvenes, for all the people that are young here, I've been in positions in which I can hire people, right? Like as a manager. He estado en posiciones en las que puedo contratar gente en posiciones de gerencia, ¿no? Como jefe. Hacer las entrevistas y ver el potencial de los candidatos. Do the interviews and see the potentials of the candidates. And I'm always a person that prefers someone that has experience in the service industry. Siempre preferí contratar a gente que tuviera experiencia en la industria del servicio o de la atención al cliente. ¿Por qué? Why? They teach you really the basics of process, of having correct processes, rules, things that you are always going to follow to the T. Siempre, cosas que siempre vas a seguir al pie de la letra. Y son lecciones muy, muy valiosas para cualquier otro tipo de industria. So, para los que van empezando su carrera, it's always a great opportunity to have one of those jobs. I know they don't pay a lot, sé que no pagan mucho. It looks utterly weird, but we're gonna make it work later with the coloring and the shading. And right here, I'm still thinking what I'm gonna do with the part of the corset. I think I'm just gonna settle by having the arm around here. Yep. And if you're able to deal with a Karen, hope there's no Karens watching us right now. And if you do, I'm sorry that your name has been downgraded so much. Pero si sabes lidiar con una Karen, y espero que no haya ninguna Karen viéndonos. Y sí, perdón, pero qué lástima que tu nombre haya sido degradado tanto en fechas recientes. You can deal almost with anything. You can keep your cool. You're still collected, and you're still able to offer the service, or at least to tone down the situation. You have everything. Y son capaces de controlarse, de mantenerse calmados y luego de enfriar la situación, por así decirlo. Ya la tienen ganada. Eso se ve medio raro porque el brazo no está ahí todavía, pero we're gonna work with it later. Being able to relate to and understand the public is always a great asset. It also helps here now when streaming. If you're comfortable with people, particularly strangers, then they'll... Okay, I don't know that word. Okay, I guess it's naturally. Feel inclined to be relaxed with you in return. Dice así, ser capaces de mantener o de relacionarse o comprender al público siempre es un plus, es algo muy bueno que tener, una cualidad importante que tener. Y también ayuda aquí mientras hacen streams, porque se sienten cómodos con la gente, particularmente extraños, entonces se pueden sentir naturalmente inclinados a relacionarse con ustedes recíprocamente. So, yeah, you're absolutely right, Sid. It is important, and it's a good asset. And also it teaches what people call people skills. I think people skills sometimes are underrated, but they're really important. Okay, so then I'm gonna do another layer that's gonna be called pockets, which is gonna be the sleeves and the skirt. Otra capa que vamos a ponerle telas fabrics in English. Bueno, vamos a hacer la... Naturally, I need a new keyword. I keep swapping between keywords. I have my fanciful one, my mechanical keyword that has lights. And I like it because it's very clickety clickety. And I also have this ergonomical one for work. Because after a while, you know, having 10-hour shifts, typing stuff, starts getting a little bit complicated. Especially if you don't have like the proper position in your hands like me. And then I'm also like an old man having a ball pad for my wrist. So it cools it off. So I can draw at ease and use the mouse at ease. This one I got for really, really cheap. This one I got for like $8. $8. And it's a Logitech or Logitech. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I got it at a Sam's Club, which is like a Costco kind of thing, like a wholesale warehouse thingy. And I got it for $8. Lo conseguí por $8 en un Sam's. Estaba en remate. It was like a sale. And also this mouse. This one was $11. It's also very ergonomical. This is the one that I use for work. Also very cheap. Yep. And I have my fanciful one, which I also, it is light up and has extra keys. This one I use for the streams and my personal computer. It is good, but it's a little bit too high. So when you click, after a while, if you click like me with a straight finger, you will start having some strain here after a lot of hours of drawing or clicking or whatever. But for like not intensive use, it's fine. I like it. Like being too high? Yeah, this one is. I honestly, I think it's the way that I grasp it, because I go straight instead of like, since it has a button here it's used for whatever you want. My finger stays here, like in a very straight position, instead of like going all the way back, so it has a more natural curve. It's my position. It's not the product. Not sponsored. Logitech, sponsor me, you know. Les decía que tengo esos teclados y el teclado y el mouse, aquellos los conseguí muy baratos, y el otro, el que tiene cable, ese me provocó un poquito de tensión, pero es más que nada por la posición. Pen, hello, very nice to see you here today. How's your day going? We're here chilling out. Do you hear the music? Is it chill enough? It has little birdies while we chat and draw. This is what we're drawing. This is the reference. It's from a Spaniard artist, and this is my version in my style. So we went through the phase of doing the sketch, which is this one here below, and we're doing the line art right now. We are making decisions as they go. There goes the neighbor. Don't worry, Pen. You don't have to worry about telling me to save here. I usually just click by mistake Control S, which saves my progress, instead of Control Z, because or Control Z, because they're like one key away. So I save by mistake, which is totally fine with me. I don't have to worry beyond what I'm already doing. Oh, what are you knitting? My wife loves to knit, and she hasn't done it in a while. She made this humongous heavy blanket that I used to take to work. I used to take naps on my breaks. I used to sleep in the car, so I will just like wrap myself in my homemade blanket. So, yeah, and she's been telling me that she wants to do it again. Only that we haven't gotten around to getting copious amounts of yarn. You are not fired from my stream. Don't worry. Later on, when Sid starts streaming, he may have the freedom to fire you. But here, just sit, chillax, keep on going with your knitting. What are you knitting? I don't know if my cousin's still there. Still there. Natsicles. She does embroidery, handmade embroidery, and you can check her on Instagram. I hope I'm writing this. It's not pictures. I think that's the correct one. I don't know if that's the correct one, but if not, I'll show you. That's easier. Where are we? This is my Instagram. Thank you. Very awesome. Okay, this is my cousin. I hope she doesn't mind showing it. And this is what she does. This is so it's Nat's Stitches. I wrote it incorrectly. So it's Instagram Nat Stitches. That's the correct one. Oh, with a second S at the end. But yeah, these are handmade, and I think she's really good. She has a store on, I think it's Etsy, but her link tree is right here. Yeah, it's an Etsy shop. So if you guys are in the market from some handmade stitches, patches, and embroidery, you can give her a follow. I mean, I think that requires a level of patience that I don't have. Is what you'll probably do later, and I'm firing you preempt. It's a preemptively fired. Okay, that's a little bit. Minority report on your part. See, I will fire you for something that I'm certain that you will do in the future, even if you have not done it yet. Don't worry, Pen. There's a reason he always hires you back. Probably he cannot function anymore without you reminding him to save. So don't feel bad about it. Yeah. Yay. Right now? Yes. But if you're still around, what are you stitching? What are you knitting?
Can you change the color of the light? Make it to some sort of like chill? Or do you have to do it like that?
It's better if you do white light. Sorry, my kid is asking why I don't change the color of the lights in my ring light. And it's better if you keep it like that because it captures better the green on the back. So if you start mixing it with other stuff, it starts looking weird. I always do hire her back. Ben's the only person I can get away with playing an imaginary money. Everybody else like really wants actual payment.
Start washing the clothes.
Well, as long as it doesn't feel like exploitation.
Do they have like faucets that you spell without milk?
What?
Can I have faucets that you spell like
Yes.
chocolate chips? So here's how you do it. You do chips. Chips. Really good.
Maybe Sid one day you will upgrade and will pay her on Monopoly money. I am at this weird. Oh yeah. What do you mean? I eat frosted flakes without milk. Kid, when I was in college and I didn't have any money for snacks, I had a box of Special K. It's this kind of rice cereal with no much flavor. And I used to eat it with hot sauce because I didn't have for like chips or something. I just needed something spicy and crunchy. So you tell me what's weirder. Cereal with hot sauce. No, Oscar. I'm sorry. In Mexico, when they pay you with imaginary money, or like someone is like, hey, can you lend me some money? And they just tell you like, oh, sí, claro, déjame ir a sacarlo del Banco de la Alegría. They tell you something like, yeah, sure. Let me go make a withdrawal from the Bank of Happiness, which is an imaginary bank. And just to be dismissive about about the whole situation. Oh yeah. In fact, what's my existence? You have one uncle that for a long time it ate his every cereal with water because he didn't like milk, but he liked cereal. So, yep, it's not too far-fetched. Hence, a special K with salsa is about the only way to eat special K. Yes, salsa is correct. Yep, special K with salsa. Specifically, this one called chamoy. And I don't know, guys, if you know chamoy, but chamoy is this kind of salsa made of seeds of a tree, the tamarind tree. It's a little bit spicier, and it has a spicy, tangy flavor. Um, I don't know if there's any comparison of any other kind of product around the world. Maybe some in Indian or maybe some Thai cuisine will have something similar to chamoy. But yeah. Special K, and I'm sorry for the ones who like it, but Special K is not a good cereal. And my kids, I mean, these guys eat cereal every day. I have to stop them because they wanted to have cereal for breakfast and for dinner. I have to tell them, like, you know what? No, that's too much cereal. Twice in a day. Not good for you. Too much sugar. But Special K is bad. I'm still curious, Pen. What are you needing? Is it like scarf, some gloves, a blanket? And honestly, I cannot remember why I got the Special K. Maybe the cereal that I was able to afford at the time. I'm not sure. Because I'm pretty sure I wasn't able to afford chips. That's what I was eating Special K with chamoy. Chips. What I mean by chips is crisps, Mr. C. Crisps. Well, I guess it's like of those cereals like Raisin Bran stuff, like people say like, oh, but it is healthy. Why don't you eat this instead if you still like cereal? And surprise, surprise, it is not healthier and it's disgusting. So Nobody wins there. Thank you, Pen. Thank you for that follow. I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. Look at this. I need to upgrade my banner because we have a new follower and we have a new subscriber. And we broke our record. Well, our goal. We reached our goal. A new subscriber. So, let's upgrade that banner. Newest follower. And current goal. Oh, newest subscriber. Lara Logal. And our current goal is bump it up to 2. Subscribers. Thank you so much for your support, guys, for the follows, for the subscriptions, for your beats, for chatting with me in the chat, for talking with me in the chat. I really, really appreciate it. Wow. Yes, I agree, Sid. I agree. All right. Dude, so weird. All right. Have a good time. I made a mistake. Well. No, there you go. and this goes to my VOD, and afterward it gets uploaded to YouTube. And also sometimes I do time lapses of the videos, and I post some of those in my TikTok. So if you ever wanna see anything that has gone beyond, or my other things in social media, there's the Discord channel, my personal Instagram, which also links to my webcomic. You can check it out there. And if you don't want to, there's a problem. I made a mistake of drawing this part of the boob in the corset layer, so instead of redrawing, I'm just gonna try to cut it from this layer and have it in a new layer. Only that I have to be a little bit precise, so I don't lose everything here. That looks fine. Oscar puts your name up in lights. While I drag your name through them all. Well, yeah, I believe so. That might be balanced. A little bit harsh, so poor pen. But I mean, I'm not the employee or the employer, so if I can give my 2 cents, what I've seen in seed streams, I think you do a wonderful job, Ben. But you know, sometimes bosses are a little bit too prone to have harsh opinions about the performance of their employees, even if they're paying in in imaginary money. Well, Ben, I won't be stealing you, but you're free to come here and sit down, unwind, or prepare for the upcoming psychological pain. This is your break room, and then you can go on about listening to Sid's berating. It's Switch revenge for all the years when she was my editor. New York editor? Or your editor? Well, alright. I won't tell him. How's it looking, guys? We made a good progress today. Color looks a little bit weird. But I'm still think I'm gonna put a little bit more hair on the back, So part of this may be obscure. In fact, now that I have this reference, it's gonna go back to the hair, and I'm gonna draw a little bit more wisps of hair. Something maybe coming from here. Yes, it's really lucky I can read pen, otherwise I might know that you just wrote. Okay. It's going along wonderfully. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm really impressed I can draw for toffee nuts. Nice. I also write. I haven't published anything. Hopefully one day I will truly sit down and finish my novel. And I know it's not a matter of hoping, it's a matter of getting to work, right? My hoping is not just gonna get like magically written and edited. But yeah, I have some short stories that I want to do into a compendium. Some of them are a little bit more advanced. Others are still some very nascent ideas. Baby ideas. But yeah. Thing is, and I don't know, for those who write, maybe it happens to you guys too. And maybe everything creative, right? Like you have to. Creativity is something that you have, but it is also something that you exercise. And some people try to place themselves in a creative state of mind, and some people it just comes naturally. And I have found that cold weather, rain, some sort of what the Brazilians call rosinho, like that kind of nostalgic feeling, but that it's enjoyable, sets me in a mood to write. And that usually happens around October and November. So around those months is when I like sit down and I write. And I can push that, like I can try to emulate it. Like if I set the lights like dim and the AC is cold and I have these rainy noises, and then I sit down and I write, I can emulate that, but it doesn't feel as organic. Hello, Glitter, how are you today? Thank you for joining. I'm doing fine. Yes, we're trying. This is what we're doing so far. This is how much it has advanced Some things may be still subject to change. But we're still doing the line art, and after that we're gonna like mix everything together, do a base color. We usually use gray, and then we're gonna do some volumes and so on and so forth. Or we may go to a more cartoony style. We will let uh, fate decide that, let's say. It says, nope, and that's not a phrase. Over here, it's a phrase used only in the Neolithic caves they live in your neck of the woods. And it says, no two writers working quite the same way. Ben plans everything meticulously when she writes, while I literally plan next to nothing. I make it up as I go along. You know, I usually wake up with an idea. Like I having a dream, or I suddenly wake up in the middle of the night, and well, the day, because I sleep during the day, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, oh, and then I text it to my wife, and she knows when she receives some kind of weird text out of context with like 2 or 3 phrases or a sentence or something like that. She knows that I'm using that as like a dream journal, in which I'm just gonna have like this flash of insight into which what I'm gonna be writing, and then I write it. I write something, and with short stories, I don't plan it. I have this feeling that I want to convey, um, and then a story it's born through that feeling. If I want to keep nurturing that feeling and I want to transmit that feeling to the reader. For the novel, I dreamt about the ending, and then I've been working backwards. The problem with the novel is that I started writing it in English, and sorry, in Spanish and in first person, and then I swapped to third person, and then I swapped to a narrator, and then I rewrote everything in English in first person, and then I rewrote everything with some sort of narration, and I'm still not sure about the style, so it's taking a long time. The story is there, I have it, and that's the other thing. I had this roadmap with the key points of the story and what happens to the characters and the interactions in between the main storylines and all that. And I wrote that in a piece of paper and I put it on the fridge when I used to live in Mexico. And then when we packed everything to move to the United States, I lost that piece of paper. And for all of you gamers out there, it has happened that you lost your save file and you're like, I'm not touching the game again. I'm not going through all that again. I'm not gonna replay this, maybe in the future. And that future sometimes never comes. So that's what's been going on with that novel so far. But again, I know it's just a matter of sitting down and getting into the groove and just write. And just write. My Skyrim streams are a good example of firework. Everything Payette says, and almost everything she does is being ad-libbed by me as it happens. Nothing in it is pre-planned, except I know roughly where she practically has to be at a certain times during the unfolding story. And you know what? That's why I love to watch you play Skyrim. I played the game I don't know how old is the game. It's quite old, right? I played the game and I had this obsessive thing in which I tend to play everything up to the point. So I think I didn't play the first one, but I think I started with Morrowind. I can't remember all of them, right? But I started playing from the early stages of the games, everything I could gather up to Skyrim. And by the time I was so burnt out by the huge amount of things that you have to do. Jesus Christ, 10 years old. Okay, and it's an ongoing game. Um, so I when by the time that I reached Skyrim, I was like, okay, I have played so much Elder Scrolls. Um, and I played the part of like the Brotherhood of the Night. That's what I keep saying. What's the color of the night? And I played the part in which you become a werewolf, I think, like that storyline, and I stopped. I have no more fuel to go with Skyrim, and I never went back to it. So when I watch you play, to me it's like I did enjoy the game. I did enjoy the game that or the parts that I played. Um, will I ever go back to it? No. Do I enjoy watching you play it? Yeah, of course. Because it's not just someone going through side quest after side quest or storyline after storyline. It's really developing these characters, developing Desmond and the crab thingy, and the horses and all that, which I find really enjoyable. Really, really enjoyable. Watching scene is like watching a movie rather than watching someone play. Yep, I agree. New movie every night. Yep, I definitely agree with that. That's the way I feel about it. Plus, it helps that he has a very nice voice. He's quite funny, quite witty about it. And not to be stereotypical, but I'm a person that has always enjoyed uh, British or the humor from the United Kingdom. So not a cup of tea, pun intended, of everyone. But it is mine, and I really, really enjoy it. Yes, you are, sir. Yes, you are. An excellent one. Look, everybody's favorite part to draw. Ants. Someday, Ben. Someday, Sid will pay you with real money, and you wouldn't know what you will do with it. You will be like, "What? What is this? Money?" And you will give it all to charity. um, it depends. Like right now, honestly, I'm taking my time. But I've been able to do stuff maybe like this in a couple of hours, sometimes faster. It depends. The thing is that I shoot myself on the foot here because my sketches was not as clean as I usually do it. So I've been like trying to decipher my own sketch, and since some parts from the sketch are not translating properly into the drawing itself, it has also been a lot of redrawing. Like for example, that finger, right? If I follow, I have like 10 lines there for the finger in the sketch, and since the sketch pencil, it is way thinner than the line that I'm using for the ink, it ends up looking like a sausage. So the foundation was laid down poorly, and I'm paying the price. But it is also part of it. So yeah, I mean, a couple of hours usually, maybe faster. If it's one of my comics, shush, 15 minutes, sometimes less. But the webcomic requires an exact idea of the pun or the situation. So those do have a little bit more planning behind. Not so much as going along. See, like that hand looks hideous. Absolutely hideous. And honestly, also, we are not that far from moving to the next step, and the next step goes fairly quick. If everything is properly encased, the next step will go in a breeze. Coloring for some people, it's a very tedious process. Not for me. I enjoy it, and it goes quick. It goes quick. So yeah, this is why this one is taking a little bit longer than usual. But I enjoy talking, and it's not the first time that I do it this way. A lot of times I used to draw at work in my previous job, And people will go to my desk and they were like, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Trying." "Oh, what are you trying?" And I will tell them, and then they will be spending a little bit of time there just watching and asking questions. "Oh, how do you do this?" "Oh, how do you do that?" So the process of talking and drawing is not new. Yeah, yeah, no. And I mean, not to this or throw dirt into any other streamer, right? Um, but sometimes I've seen people drawing and they're just quiet, and that's appreciated if you want a quiet time and you're just watching, right? But at least, as far as I know, people watching the stream. Ooh, my tablet died. People watching the stream or something are related are not looking at all the time at the drawing. And if the person is not talking, it can become like just background music, and then sometimes people turn around to glimpse of what's going on the screen and like, oh, right, the artist hasn't died. Still there, kicking. So in my case, I like to talk about what I'm doing or what struggle I'm encountering or what part of the process I am into or what's the future plan. I think it looks decent for a hand and an arm. I know my proportions are a little bit weird, but that's the style I like. Well, that's at least style I use for my arms. They're a little bit longer than a real human arm. But that's a stylistic decision or a aesthetic decision. And I don't know, guys. You let me know. But I dislike hyperrealism. It's a quite skill to task. Like people that can draw things in such a realistic manner. Thank you, Mahe. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. But people that are able to do like oops, yeah, that was a mistake. And this is very common with people that use drawing software. And then you realize that you are drawing on the incorrect layer, and then that truly will mess up things for you. But like I was talking about hyperrealism, it is impressive, right? People that are able to draw so detailed. And with such fidelity to the subject. But then I feel that that's why we have pictures, photograph things. It lost. I think it loses a little bit of soul when you are just recreating reality. Again, it looks wonderful. I marvel at the way they are able to do things so in such a realistic way. But I honestly prefer the organic feeling of someone or something that it was just, if you want to call it hand draw, because this is a piece of software, right? There's many tools that help you out with hand-eye coordination, stability, and fixing up your mistakes, being able to do and redo things a million times. But yeah, I prefer something more organic, something that feels made by humans and not a machine, not a one-to-one depiction of reality. And if you want to get philosophical, then what is reality in the end if it's just a perception of the things through our senses, right? What I may be able to see as green may be blue to you. And it is just through the lens of our perception. We're limited by our senses and what we can gather. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really wonderful. Because that gives us all the possibilities of art, all the possibilities for expression and interpretation. And this is a great example of it. This is a draw this in your style. Someone already did this drawing. They created, and we're just piggyback riding on their creation and using our own experience and perspective to offer something that is already inspired but not quite a copy of what is already out there. I know a lot of people tell you like, hey, don't use outlines, or don't go around copy, like tracing, right? Copy tracing. That won't help you. No, I mean, it's gonna give you insight on the way you draw. Gonna help you create that muscle memory. Iron, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenido. Seguimos aquí dibujando. Así va avanzada la brujita. Y estamos hablando un poquito de el proceso creativo. Gracias por acompañarnos. But that's almost everything that we have on the main part of the character. Eso es casi todo lo que tenemos en el personaje principal. Despertaste. Kyron's barely waking up. What time do you went to bed? ¿A qué hora te dormiste? A ver si no te duermes otra vez con la música que puse ahora. Hopefully you don't fall asleep again with the music choice today's stream. No recuerdo, pero pues ya desperté ahora de desayuno. Provecho, provecho. Enjoy your breakfast. A final de cuentas, en algún lugar del planeta va amaneciendo. When it comes to being creative, I always been a firm believer that you need to know the rules before you can successfully break the rules. Yeah. When I was a kid and a very rebellious one at that, I used to go to this place in Mexico is called Casa de la Cultura, like the culture house, culture hall. And it's something that it was created by the government many years ago in order to offer some sort of formal training in different crafts and arts. You can learn music, you can learn to sing, you can learn to draw, to sculpt, to dance, everything related to cultural development and the arts. And they are funded by the government. And almost every city had one or had one. I hope it hasn't changed. So in two of the cities that I lived, I went to one of those places for drawing. So they will start like, these are the proportions, and you start doing stick figures, and this is the proportion of the 5 heads, right? Like the size of the head goes 5 times into the body, so on and so forth, right? And I will be like, I just want to draw. I just want to draw. And they were like, yeah, but you need to learn the rules. No, I am self-taught. You have nothing to teach me. And I will start like going on about my business, and like they will be like, oh, it looks really great, but you know what? Why don't you try this? Or why don't you try that? Or why you didn't do the basic shapes, or yada yada yada, right? Like all the examples of following the rules and how to do things. And it was a disservice to what I did because I didn't learn a lot of basic techniques. And I had to learn or like discover those techniques later in life through a lot of like struggle, to say it. And then like, oh man, if I would have done this the way they told me to do it like many years ago, everything would have been so simple. Like I would have those skills already, like perspective and proportion and a bunch of stuff like that I just let pass just because I wanted to be a rebel guy. I'll do the things my way, and my way is the right way. Nothing farther than the truth, right? And yeah, then you start discovering your own path, if you want to say it like that. uh, I did the book backwards. The curvature is going down instead of going up. And then I'm thinking that I'm too lazy to redraw it. Let's see. If I do this. Yeah, I'll have to redraw it. I'll just redraw it. I was a bit like that as a kid when I was learning to play the piano. I didn't want to learn the basics, I just wanted to play the music like. Yeah. Trouble was the music was Chopin. And probably 6 times more difficult than the level I was at, and I never practiced. Yeah, because you reach to a point in which you are just feeling frustrated, like, oh, I cannot play this, what I want to play. And you're like, why you cannot play? Happens to me with typing. I can type really fast, like I can type really fast, but I use maybe 2-3 fingers in one hand and maybe 4 fingers in the other, and it is inefficient. But by the time that someone tried to teach me how to type, I was like, I already know how to type, but there's a proper way to do it, or a proper technique that it will save you time, that it will save you strain, and that it will make you more precise. And that what you're talking about, Ben, happened to me also with drawing and with the guitar. Because then you have to work twice, you have to work double, you have to go back, forget about those vices or those bad practices that you have, and swap them for the proper technique, swap them to the proper way of doing things. And it is hard, because then you are dealing with levels of frustration because you feel that you are not efficient and everything feels pointless, and you may end up dropping it. And you didn't give yourself a chance. You didn't listen to the teachers, you didn't listen to your parents, you didn't listen to your mentors or whoever it was, like telling you, like, in the best of your interest, please learn to do these things properly. So you all kids out there, stay in school. Listen to your teachers. Most of the time, they know best. And like Sid said, once you learn the rules, you master the rules, then you have enough tools and enough weapons to break them and to create your own. And also, if you are completely self-taught, and you have gone through your life developing your skills, and you never got or have the chance to have any formal training, don't ever feel that your craft is less. Be proud of your learning and the way you were able to discover and learn things entirely on your own. It is awesome when you're able to discover things on your own, then you are good at it. And that's something that is entirely yours. And also, I think it's never too late to learn either the proper techniques or a new skill, to change your career, do whatever you feel like it, because we are very ephemeral. We have a very short span of time here on Earth. And if you just spend your time sad about what you are not able to do, or how are you not, like I told you guys about my hand, right? So I was like, you know what, I lost this finger and I maybe still be able to play guitar, right? Or to play the bass, or to play the piano, or to play video games. Like, yeah, I can deal with 4 fingers. And then a couple of months back, I cut my hand, still scarring, still like here. I did a deep cut, got 11 stitches, and the doctor was like, I don't know, man, you can move it right now, but some of those blood vessels may shrivel, or a nerve will be a gunner. and you may not be able to move your thumb. And I was like, shit, I don't move my thumb. I might not be able to draw, type, play video games, whatever, right? I will not be able to keep trying to play the guitar or the bass. And for me, it was like, I need to do this. I need to do these things before I'm not able to. And not just because of age or lack of resources or something like that. Like it's because time may run out on me. I may not have the time to do it tomorrow. Something like a stupid accident can happen in the blink of an eye. And that's it. Your ability to do whatever you wanted to do, it's gone forever. And it was something as simple as me cutting a plastic tie. So, go out there, seize the day, learn what you want to learn, do what you want to do. You may not be the best at it. You may not reach a level of proficiency. I cannot say that word. As you may dream of. But at least when the boatman comes to carry over the Styx River, you may not have that regret that you never gave yourself a chance. Because it was all along in your power to do it. Absolutely, that's a very, very important point you make. Thank you. Learning is a lifelong thing. Only a fool believes they have nothing left to learn. Yep. Yeah, and I was reading about this study, or it was more like a paper, right? And they were talking about, like, have you guys noticed how your childhood days seem to be like a slower passing of time. Yep. Good. No regrets, like the bad tattoo says. No regrets. But this study was talking, or this paper was talking about how people remember their childhood days as something that took a while, right? That every day, or the period in between you were 4 years old to the period in which you are now, seem to be like longer than the rest of your years as an adult. And the only reason is because somehow the brain codifies the information of the time that it's passing based on how many things you are learning. So when you're a kid, you're learning a lot of stuff. Everything is new, everything is exciting, and everything is being set up in these snippets of time in which you are absorbing so many things, and that starts declining as we grow older. So our learning goes down and our age goes up, and time seems to be flatter. It seems to be unmoving. It seems to be repetitive. Every day seems to be like the next day, and even more so if you have a job that is repetitive in nature. So every day is like very similar to the next one. So the brain doesn't create this new block of time added to memory. And many years can can seem to have gone in a flash just because you're not learning anything new. So when you dedicate yourself to learning new skills, something simple, learn to play Sudoku or to do origami or to cook a new dish or to play an instrument or a new language or anything like that, you are facilitating that plasticity on your brain to create new blocks. And not only that, it's going to be attached to the way or the things you learn, but it's also going to be attached to your experiences. So if you have a partner in life, if you're a couple, or if you're taking care of your parents which are older than you, or if you're seeing your kids grow, all those experiences are going to be parsed with your learning, and they're going to be so much important in your brain that are going to remain intact for longer. Yeah, I mean, so it is very interesting how our brain attaches time blocks to our experiences and makes them more meaningful just based on what we learn. So far as I see, you just missed some details for the hat that I'm still not 100% happy with it, but we may roll with it. We're always saying time is going quicker the older we get. School terms used to seem interminable. But see, school terms, you were in school. And maybe if school seems to be a repetitive sometimes, you were learning something. So those things got elongated in your brain because you were learning. You were creating new connections and new pathways that extended time in itself. But nowadays, if you are not learning any new skills, day one seem maybe very similar to your brain as day two, and as day three, and as day four. And since there's nothing uh, of great importance to know, it will just be flattened out into a bunch of days, and they will seem as a very, very, very fast time. Well, call me senile, but not a goat. Um, Goats are not my friends. I think they're very creepy. Unless goat means greatest of all time, then I'll take it. I mean, if I say so myself, I think it looks good. I think it looks good. I mean, it's not perfect. Hat is not. I'm still shaky about the hat. I might add some details to make it a little bit less flat. But so far, I think it's looking good, right? No, don't worry, don't worry. I know it's a joke, man. And speaking about pens, I might have to replace the nib on my pen soon. Getting very low. Thank you very much. And I think I'm gonna stop right here with the drawing because it's getting into 3:10, which means that my beloved wife is about to have her lunch break. And I make and effort to always pay full attention to her when she has her break. But I mean, this was a very, very chill stream, and I have enjoyed greatly talking with you guys. I really, really appreciate your time, the time that you spend with me talking. We have a new tip. I still have a couple on this one, but soon I'm gonna have to replace the whole thing. But yeah, thank you. Thank you. Pleasure has been all mine. And without further ado, and in the wise words of Penn, save, save, save. I'm saving my drawing. And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna look who we're gonna make a little bit happy with a raid. You may feel free to stay with them or not. But let's see if someone needs a little bit of support. Well, Umahe, we can send in some viewers. He's always nice to me. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I will send you to Omahe's stream. He also speaks Spanish and English. He sings karaoke and he programs video games. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all, guys. See you tomorrow with another stream.
We're gonna do some shout out for Master Zero and Wu, but I also want to shout out an awesome friend of mine. She recently just hit affiliated, so she has been working on his channel. He's supporting us hard, hard, hard. Let me